This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball's app makes it easy to keep up to date with transfer news, scores and stats all in the one place. To download the OneFootball app, click the link in the description. The app is free. To watch more of this video, get over and join us on Patreon. When choosing players for the team, how important do you think that is?
It's very important now. So obviously the football's changed the way we like people scout players and stuff. So now they look at, so first of all it'll go to, so now obviously everyone's data scouts. They'll have a look at the data. There'll be video analysis of the player. They'll go and watch the player. But obviously then the scouts then speak to agents, family members, ex-coaches and stuff. So they like to get a background on the player, obviously how hard working he is. Also that comes when you also watch games. That's why people like to go and watch games, because if you're just doing video analysis, sometimes you don't have a feel for what a player's like off the ball, because video focuses generally on what they're doing on the ball. So they like to go and see if they're talking to the teammates, if they're engaged, if they're, the body language on the pitch. So it makes a big difference, really. So yeah, it's something the football teams look at. Like if you look at, you bring the wrong person to a dressing room, we can all fall apart. You obviously see it in the past with different players. So yeah, it is. It's very important. Yeah.
I mean, when we bought these players last season, we've seen how well. I mean, Kate mentioned it there. The likes of Gomez, he's bought right into Everton, doing all the Everton in the community stuff. We've seen him buying that kid a coat when he was cold early on, and he's done all sorts. He was working in the shop the last game of the season, and he's bought right into that. I think Yerry Mina fantastically has bought into all the charities. Just love working with the kids. And
he's an happy sort of player, isn't he? Yeah.
Exactly, and Bernard's done exactly the same. So I think, and Luca Dean. So I think everybody, Kurt Zuma as well, everybody, Marcel Brands and Marco Silva, looked at the background of them players. We spoke to Seamus Coleman, and he said, credit to the manager and Marcel Brands. The lads they've introduced into the dressing room this year have been fabulous, and that's why Everton have done so well, and they all seem to get on. Richarlison's another one. He was waxing lyrical the other week about how Everton, it's like a family, and he loves it. So I think Kate's question is important. It is important to do your background. Just because there's a player who looks fantastic, and you think, this lad looks good, if he's a bit of a knobhead.
Well, you look at France, you've seen Emerick Laporte, who plays for City, can't get in the France team. The reason supposedly given by Deschamps and to French journalists is that he's a loner. He doesn't integrate with the team. No matter how good he is on the pitch, he won't put him in the team because he doesn't integrate. Likes to spend a lot of time on his own. I know that sounds ridiculous, but as a harmonious atmosphere and someone, obviously you need to build relationships with your centre-back partner, midfielders in front of you, the other players on the pitch. That is important. So the personality types and traits, I often talk last season about Everton need leaders at centre-half. Yeah. Michael Keane sort of came into the role more as the season went on, I suppose, in that sense. But when we bought the three captains, we bought Klaassen, we bought Rooney and things like that. Yeah. All them they're the type of things that teams look to do. So sort of, I think they want to instill ambition, you want to instill leadership in the team, and I think that's still something Everton need to look at, really. I know we've got Seamus Coleman, who's probably going to be, I'm going to guess, club captain going forward, but I think leadership, I think some players will naturally progress into leadership roles, but still buying players who are leaders in the dressing room is still important.
Yeah, I remember David Moyes used to do this incredibly, when he was probably, I know Howard Kendall had done this as well. He used to go and have a pint with people and see how they were and all that. But David Moyes really did a lot of digging into a player's background at a time when people probably didn't really put much emphasis on it. And I remember Craig Bellamy, when we just qualified for the Champions League. Everton were on a spending spree that summer, and Moyes wanted Bellamy, who'd done very well. And he met him twice. And I think the first time he met him, I think he went to Moyes' house, and everything was going well, and Bellamy went to Belfield, and apparently it was to put the finishing touches to the move. And Moyes in the period from meeting him at his house and having a meal with him to meeting him at Belfield, Moyes had been given some information about him.
Right.
So they had the meeting at Belfield, to which Bellamy walked out and said, manager's a knobhead and I'll never play for this club, and left them, whatever. And by all accounts, Moyes had literally just took him to task on a couple of things about his character. And, Bellamy ended up moving to Liverpool and then hit someone with a golf club and had a bit of fun with John Arnerisa.
He bullied a couple of youth players,
and things like that. So, allegedly.
Apologies.
So that kind of thing, you look at that. I remember when we were going for Bellamy and I was thinking, but it's exactly what we need. Pace up front, can score goals coming on. You know, he would have been great for Everton. Yeah. He still had done well after that move didn't come off. But that was just one example of the type of, lengths that it's important to go to.
And obviously Moyes having to get every last penny right.
Yeah.
He had to make sure that it fit and it worked. And obviously a lot of it's very rare that Moyes got it wrong in the transfer market. A more humorous example of this is, if you remember Roy Keane, when he was looking at bringing Robbie Savage from Blackburn to Sunderland, and he left him his number. He rang him back and said, "What's up?" on the phone, and he said, "I'm not having him in my team." So that's an example of, like, Roy Keane obviously is a very different type of manager than most, but he didn't want someone like that around his players. They had to be, you know what I mean? So it is important.